Down.
And it stays like that or it gets turned off altogether.
You've got 10 minutes left, ladies. Or you can go back to your rooms now.
All right, Agnes, you look a bit frazzled.
Oh, headache, that's all. The racket in there.
You can hear that music at the gatehouse.
Music? I've got another name for it.
I know. Give me the old quick, slow anytime. Oh, Janice. Yes, Mrs. Spencer. You go back to your room.
I'll take it.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Janice. I'm going to have to put you down for escort duty tomorrow. It's my day off tomorrow. Well, the woman's out on bail, so you can travel down on your own. Where to? The sessions at Devizes.
Oh, the West Country. That makes for a nice long day.
You can take Monday off instead. Do I have a choice?
Of course you do. Whether to have lunch at a cafe or take sandwiches.
I'll make some sandwiches. Thanks, Janice.
I was only kidding. Better get the lost sheep back to the fold.
I'm thoroughly sick of seeing your name on reports, Cindy.
Get that grin off your face.
Officer Poole, you say she refused to join her work party, is that right?
Yes, madam.
I got put down for stair cleaning again. It's not fair.
And what sort of work do you think you should be doing? There are very few alternatives here for those incapable of learning any form of skilled work. In your case, I don't think you're so much incapable as uncooperative. 1 day's loss of pay. And you will return with Officer Poole to carry out the work assigned to you. Is that understood?
Yes, madam.
Cindy, why do you make your time here harder for yourself than it need be? If you keep on being obstructive, you will simply be put on report again. And if you are, I promise you, I won't be so lenient.
Right?
What do we do about her, Mrs. Armitage?
Keep cracking down on her, I suppose, madam. Seems to be the only treatment she understands.
Yes, but what do we do about her?
Well, this has become my favourite moment of the day. Oh. Well, do I take that as a tribute to my scintillating company, or the hospital wing's brand of instant coffee? Neither directly, though they're both welcome. No, it's the sheer pleasure of 15 to 20 minutes out of the sight, the sound, and the smell of women. You being got at again?
It has come to my attention, Mr. Radley. Perhaps you can explain to me, Mr. Radley.
I even get messages from her secretary. The governor presents her compliments and asks you to be at her office at 3:15.
Well, I don't understand it. I find Mrs. Forrester pleasant, understanding. I've certainly had none of the interference that you've had.
Well, you're the medical side. And she respects doctors. Probably because of her husband.
Yeah.
She sees me as... Well, I've given up trying to guess what she sees me as.
Interrupting?
Yes? No. Come in, Liz.
What's up?
We are enjoying an interval of exclusive masculinity.
I see. Oh, well, I'll go away again.
No, you needn't. I've got to go.
Oh, come off it, Charles.
No, really, I have to. I've got to prepare a summary of the works officer report on the fabric of West Wing.
With the new bathrooms?
It's a matter of stress or something. He doesn't think the floors will stand more than 3 at the most. And if I don't get the facts absolutely right, Madam will have me keel-hauled.
What's the matter with him?
The governor's been giving him a rough time.
He's just being oversensitive, surely. Mrs. Forrester seems to me to welcome ideas, and she's putting a stamp on everything.
Well, she certainly leaves no doubt about who's boss. Now, I've got about 10 minutes before my round. Would you care for some coffee?
Oh, no. I only looked in. I'm on my way to North Wing. You busy this weekend?
Well, I needn't be.
It's just that I've splashed out on some new hi-fi equipment, but I need someone to wire it up for me. I can offer you lunch or dinner on Saturday or Sunday.
Well, why not both? And what happened to breakfast?
We'll see.
What? if I make the right connections on Saturday.
Don't you like chocolate pudding, Tessa?
Oh, got to think of the figure, miss. It's all I've got left.
Oh, sorry, Tess. I wasn't looking where I was going. It was an accident.
You did that deliberate.
You saw it, Miss
It
Poole.
was an accident. Now, come on, Tessie, you're not hurt.
I just hope you don't have an accident.
Watch it, Ryan.
I don't know what you mean, miss.
I've got my beady eye on you and your roommate, so watch it.
Now, Cindy Swales. I interviewed her on admission, but I couldn't get much out of her. I gather she has a chip on her shoulder.
Both shoulders.
I better find out why. Check her background, her family.
Oh, she hasn't got one.
What?
Well, she's illegitimate. And then she was abandoned by her mother when she was 14.
How do you know?
Well, I've talked to her. Well, it's not easy, but I think I'm beginning to get through to her.
You realise, I suppose, that if a girl like this begins to open up to someone in authority, it is usually only to that one person.
Oh, come on, Liz. Well, surely it's better she talked to Ruth than nobody.
She'll probably clam up on me.
Yes, but it's part of my job to get her to be a bit more cooperative. Well, she doesn't say much.
She has inevitably said things, given hints that a properly trained person would have picked up. I'm sure you meant it for the best. But most likely you have made my job much more difficult.
Right in the kidneys. An accident, see? And had 2 screws as witnesses.
Mind if I come in?
Hey, you don't have to go up for her. She's only welfare.
Are you naturally offensive, or do you have to work at it? I'd like to see Cindy alone.
It's my room, too.
I'll get an order from the assistant governor, if you insist. I just looked in to say hello. We'll have to have a chat soon.
What about?
About what you're going to do when you get out. If you like, I can try to arrange a job for you, somewhere to stay.
What's the catch?
No catch. There are people who want to help.
And report to the fuzz every week.
No, you only have to report if you're on parole.
Ah, fat chance with that bitch of a governor laying for me. Look, I don't want help from you or nobody. When I have done my bird, I will walk out of them gates and I'll be shot at the lot of you.
If you've nowhere to go and no family...
How do you know that?
From your records.
No, I didn't tell them nothing. It's that Parsons, that bitch Parsons. Knock.
Cindy.
Go on, get stuff. Go on, get out of here.
We have to talk.
You talk if you want to, but if you do, you will get the rest of this right in your mush.
She was hostile and aggressive. I had no chance with her. Of course, the officer thought she was acting for the best. One thing she told me, though, is interesting. Cindy's had practically no schooling. She can neither read nor write. Now, if we could interest her somehow in the education classes...
Why are you telling me all this, Miss Clark?
Well, I assumed you'd want to know the situation. It's linked to the problems of aftercare.
I thought I made it plain. I expect heads of departments to take responsibility for their own sections.
There are times when I shall need your help.
And you'll be given as much as possible. Now, do you want me to take over this case?
No.
Very well. Then I suggest that you apply to the chaplain for advice. He knows and understands the women and has many contacts outside the prison. You would do well to remember that.
Go to the chaplain?
That's what she said.
What an unholy combination.
I thought Charles was exaggerating. But he's right. Of course, it's different for you.
Yes, it is.
Why? Oh, what do you see in her?
Well, I know where I am with her. Personally, I can't complain.
Oh, you actually admire her?
Yes, I do. And I think she's got a difficult job and that we ought to help her.
Oh.
Oh, now look, Liz. Are you sure that you're not just reacting against change, like Charles?
No, I'd accept changes if they were for the better. driving us all apart into little compartments.
Well, on the other hand, she might want to see how we make out on our own.
Do you think she's attractive?
Well, I suppose so. Yes. Yes, I do.
So, of course, you make allowances for her.
Well, that's a typically feminine argument. That's got nothing to do with it.
On the contrary, I think it says everything. There's obviously no point in discussing it.
Now, look, Liz.
Bloody typical. Happens just too often, though.
What's that?
Janice had to go off in the early morning to Devizes. 8 hours there and back, and guess what?
6 months suspended sentence. She just walked out of the court.
Now, somebody must have known that was liable to happen.
Sure. And that was supposed to be my day off, too. Don't expect anyone to worry about that.
And I've been put down for Hastings tomorrow.
Oh, well, good luck. That'll be another wasted journey.
Sure.
The woman was on bail.
Yes, Chief.
Ah, it's 10 to 1 she'd get off then.
Well, that's about the odds, Chief. But we had to send an officer in case the woman was committed. That's a problem.
Oh, that whole business of escort duty is a problem. It's tiring, unpleasant, and so much of it's a waste of time. What's the answer? It has to be done.
Well, nobody minds a certain amount of it. It's part of the job. You do get the nasty ones when they try to break away from you and kick and bite in the process. And the ones that cry all the time, waiting for the rubber truncheons to come out. But then again, there's one or two you can really help. But to face up to what's waiting for them, let them know what'll be expected of them.
Right. The way a woman's treated between the court and here makes all the difference to her behaviour inside.
Yeah. Still, for the most part, it's just bloody boring.
Something on your mind?
Oh, I just wanted to word with Mrs. Spencer, Chief.
Well, I'm not stopping you.
Well, maybe nothing, but there's a kind of tension on the wing.
What's the focus?
Well, Tessa Brady and Babs Ryan.
Oh, they've been working up to something for weeks.
Right. Take Miss Bailey and Miss Poole back with you and keep your eyes open.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, you shouldn't let yourself get dirty, Cindy. You ought to keep yourself clean.
Why?
Well, it's not very nice. You could be made to, you know.
I'd like to see him try.
You ought to wash your underclothes. Your hair. You've nice hair. You should take care of it.
Yeah, well, it suits me the way it is. Hey, Miss Watts, if I washed my knickers, would you fancy me, eh? If my hair was all nice and shiny, would you come and tuck me in my Betty pies?
That's enough. Quite enough.
You want to watch it, kid?
What?
Trying to score off the screws.
They're pigs.
Some of them. The only ones you can hurt are the ones that treat you fair.
So what?
So when they give up on you, the others are going to jump in with big, heavy boots.
What's it to you?
You're being conned. You break the rules, you needle the screws. And you carry the can, get on report. But the one who's put you up to it, she's never touched.
You were talking to Cindy just now.
Yeah.
Was she being difficult?
Oh, a bit cheeky. She doesn't really mean it, though.
You want to be careful. There's only so much you can let her get away with.
Yes, Miss Collins.
Yeah, it's for your own good.
That's what the bigwig said when he sent me up.
And just so long as you know what's going on. That's the way your roommate Babs gets her kicks. Seeing how far you go and landing you deeper in trouble. And all the time it's her, but she's well out.
She's my mate.
Grow up. You're just a thing she uses.
What do you want?
Just wising up your play, mate.
She's trying to split us up.
Oh, yeah. Jealous, are you? Because your own little dolly's got out. Little Jilly, out there in the big wide world, getting laid every night.
You bitch.
Promised to wait, did she? She'll be on the game by now. Oh!
Come on. Who started this?
It was her. It was Tessa. She just went for bad. She just came at me for no reason. She just came at me.
Brady, take her to her room. All right, Babs, you better go and lie down. I'll have the nurse come and look at you.
She's gonna kill me. The crazy bitch. She was gonna kill me.
Come on.
But she was. What are you gonna do about it?
You've heard the evidence of the officers. Have you anything to say? If the assistant governor on your wing hadn't spoken for you, your punishment would be much more severe. 7 days loss of privileges.
Right.
You say your officers knew this was going to happen?
They've been expecting something. It's been building up for some time.
It was more or less bound to happen, madam.
Why?
2 queen bees. Well, they were like 2 cats spitting at each other. And when one didn't back down, well, they were bound to fight.
Why didn't you prevent it?
Well, we kept an eye on them, madam. But we can't be everywhere at once.
I thought it was easing off, madam.
How?
Well, there's always been friction between them, but Tessa seemed to be settling down. Since Babs has been sharing with Cindy, she hasn't been, well, so much on the prod.
So, you knew there was a potentially dangerous situation and simply hoped it would go away. In order to keep on good terms with the women, you allow the rules to be broken.
Oh, madam, that's...
May I remind you, your prime function is to maintain order and discipline on the wings. You are not social workers, but prison officers. Very well. Yes, Mrs. Spencer.
If you consider there is slackness on the wing, madam, I feel any reprimand should not be given to the officers, but to me.
I am not accusing any individual. What I object to is the general attitude of the uniformed staff.
How do you mean, Governor?
They seem to be in danger of forgetting that Stone Park is a security prison.
There we were on the carpet like a bunch of school kids in front of the headmistress.
Mind you, what she said made a lot of sense.
How?
The rules are there for a reason. Without them, the whole system would break down.
Well, I'm not putting anyone else on report if I can help it.
Why not?
Well, because where once they'd have been given a warning, now they lose privileges or remission automatically.
And that's how to make them afraid, not how to get them to cooperate.
Oh, they'll cooperate if they know they'll get it in the neck if they don't.
It'll be like the old days. You didn't have so much trouble then. Stiffer punishments, 1 or 2 made an example of, and the rest toes the line quiet as lambs.
Bring back the cat, is that it?
Oh, don't talk stupid, Sally.
Well, what? Strip cells and force feeding?
What did you think the service was when you joined? A mission school?
Hey, that's discrimination.
What's the verdict, Meg? We all for the high jump?
No. It's a general tightening up all round. Efficiency, that's the word.
No bad thing. At least the women will know where they are.
I think they've a fair idea of that already. I can't guarantee to change my attitude, Governor.
I neither expect nor want you to, Miss Collins.
But surely you agree that the officers can play some part in rehabilitation?
To an extent. But we can't apply the less formal standards of an open prison here. We're dealing with a different type of prisoner.
I must say I was surprised by Brady.
Why?
Well, that fight yesterday. I'd have expected it a year ago, but not now. She's become much more balanced. Or so I thought.
Well, she's the one I had to punish, but that doesn't mean that I think Ryan is innocent. May I make a suggestion? I think the one who needs watching is Babs Ryan. She's your real problem.
What was it about? Really about?
Just don't like her face. It's like pushing it through the back of her head.
I saw you talking to Cindy. I think you feel sorry for her. You can see what Babs is doing. She's using her.
It's the last time I'll ever try and help anyone.
Some friend you are.
I told you I tried to stop her.
You'd have let her beat me up.
Well, it was your fight.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you suppose we were fighting over you?
Of course not. No, it's like you said, you're boss of the wing. She's always trying to take over.
It's all right, Babs. Would you leave us for a minute, Cindy? How are you feeling?
It's a bit of a shock, miss. I can't seem to get over it.
Was it really so unexpected?
She just attacked me like an animal.
Well, you've been on bad terms for some time.
Well, it's not my doing.
I try to get on with everybody.
Babs, let's face it. You have a way of putting people's backs up. For a long time, most of the women on the wing wouldn't talk to you. One of the night orderlies was dismissed for trafficking because of you. You're a mixer.
Well,
Why? Do you enjoy being unpopular?
Are you accusing me of something?
I'm trying to help you face reality. I think you're unhappy and you feel left out. You'd like to be accepted by the other women, but you don't know how. I've seen you hurt when somebody's turned their back on you.
I'm all right.
Yes, at the moment you've got Cindy. But one day she's going to turn on you, just as others have when they've realised you were using them. But it doesn't have to be like that, you know.
How do you mean?
Well, prison's the easiest place in the world to make friends. All you have to do is to show that you're genuinely interested in them for what they are, and not for what you can get out of them. Then they'll accept you. But it's up to you.
I'm not crawling to anybody. I don't need anybody.
We all need somebody, Babs. And you're no different from the rest of us. Think about it. I'll come and see you later.
I hear you laid into the officers on North Wing.
I simply told them what I expected of them.
Same thing, isn't it?
Perhaps. I got your summary of the works officers' report this morning. I see the architect can only recommend 3 extra bathrooms on West Wing. I was hoping for 6.
Yes. Well, you see, it's all to do with the structure of the old building. More could be provided here if we built out for extra support, but as you can see from the costings, the money for that's not available.
What does Dr. Mays think of it?
He's not been consulted.
Why not?
It's not his province, Governor.
I should think his opinion would be invaluable.
He's at a conference at the Department of the Environment.
Ah, yes. Well, we'll leave this until I've had a chance to talk to him about it.
May I join you?
Hmm? Oh, yes, please do.
Thank you.
Bring it out your way.
Fine.
I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Lindsay. Tom Lindsay, DOE.
No, you're on the staff.
In a way, a glorified civil servant, a sort of civilian expert. I have my own practice, but well, I criticize and evaluate reports and so on.
So you attend a lot of these dues?
Yes, too many. You know, usually the best part about these department meetings is the lunch.
Hmm. Well, it's not bad.
Huh. You're at Stone Park, aren't you?
Yeah.
Then you know Helen Forrester.
Naturally, she's the governor.
We're very old friends.
Eh?
No, through her husband, actually. We were in the army together. He was my SMO at Aden, and then we were together again in Malaya. We both had our wives with us, and we became more or less inseparable.
What was he like?
Guy? Oh, he was an absolute charmer. They were very much in love. Yes, it was sad, really.
What one?
Well, by that time, his drinking had become quite a problem. As you know, it was always more than just social.
No, I didn't know.
Oh,
Well, she has said something about it, but it wasn't very clear. I didn't pursue it because I was afraid of putting my foot in it. I gather she stood by him.
Oh, yes, no one could have done more. She covered for him the whole time. She tried to cure him or make him cut down. She never gave up hope, anyway.
Can't have done his career much good.
No, frankly, there's no saying what would have happened if it hadn't been for the accident.
With a gun, wasn't it?
Yes. Officially, it was an accident while he was cleaning it.
Suicide?
You know, I think I've already said too much.
If it will put your mind at rest, Dr. Lindsay, I do have a great admiration for Mrs. Forrester.
It's been a long time. I must look her up. How's she settling down?
Well, it's hard to say, really. She certainly stirred things up.
Yeah, the new broom.
Yes, exactly. Got a bit stiff and bristly at first.
Oh, yes, that's Helen.
If she had a complaint, why didn't she come to me?
I don't know, Chief. The governor doesn't take me into her confidence.
How did the staff take it?
Well, I don't know what to make of it. Some of the older ones are all for it being cut and dried, but the younger ones are worried about it. It's not what I say, Babs. It's what you want.
I want to be friendly. I've thought about it, realised what you meant. See, I feel you're someone who really understands.
Thank you, Babs.
I'd like you to be my friend.
Well, I want you to feel that you can come to me at any time, but it's more important for you to establish contact with the other women.
I won't need them. You know, I've always fancied helping out in the library. Well, it's a cushy number and you could get me in there.
What?
Well, I do expect something in return, don't I? Come on. Don't be shy. I won't split on you. We could do things for each other.
That's enough, Ryan. You either misunderstood deliberately or you're more stupid than I thought.
We made a deal.
Forget it. And if you ever try anything like this again, you'll be up in front of the governor so fast your feet won't touch the ground. Are you afraid to show them who's boss?
But there's no need. Now that Tessa's out of association, there'll be no more trouble for a while.
Tessa? Oh,
Well, she's been behind most of the upsets on the wing.
oh, that was months ago. She's learnt to toe the line. That's where all the real aggro comes from. Ryan.
Oh, she's been quiet since she shared with Cindy.
She's going to be a lot quieter.
All right. Now, what have I missed?
The bloody bathrooms on West Wing. She won't even discuss them with me until she's heard what you have to say about it.
What does she think I am, a plumber?
Well, she just wants anybody's opinion except mine. She's got the officers all stirred up, too. They're to lay off getting on terms with the women, interfering in welfare. Oh, I've leant over backwards trying to work her way. For 2 pins and get out.
You mean that?
Well, you know what's stopping me. For any chance of a good promotion, I have to have a favourable report from her.
Oh, Charles, it's early days yet. It's a big responsibility, and she's a woman on her own.
What does that mean?
She's a widow. She lives alone in a flat in the grounds of the prison. No family. The only friends she had in this country were a couple who knew her husband. Now the wife's dead, she hasn't seen the man for months. You think of the kind of life that she has.
How do you know all this?
Well, I just know, that's all. Now you think about it.
I think you seem to know a hell of a lot about her. What's going on?
Nothing.
Now, look. If you're on her side, that's all right. But don't you try to play the impartial advisor with me, because that won't work.
Come in. Leave the door open. Leave it open.
I want to talk to you, Miss Collins.
What about?
You've told her to put the boot in, haven't you?
Who?
Officer Morrow. But I promise I won't say anything. Just get her off me back.
What are you talking about?
Big Aggie. She watches me all the time. Keeps saying things. Whenever I turn me back, she's there behind me.
You're making this up, Babs.
I'm not.
Go on, back to association. And I don't want to hear any more about this. Understood?
Telling tales, were you?
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, you're going to be lent on twice as hard from now on. You're a dirty little troublemaker, and if you don't toe the line, you're going to get bounced off every wall from here to the centre.
Leave her alone. Stop picking on her.
What was that?
I said, leave her alone. Keep your frigging hands off her.
Right, Swales, you're on report.
Well, here's something to...
Penny, stop it! Penny! Ow! Bitch! Ow! Oh, no! Ow! Leave me alone! Ow!
No, madam. I've got no idea what the fight was about.
Swales says it was to protect you, that you were being ill-treated.
Me, madam? I don't know where she got that idea.
Miss Collins says you complained that Officer Morrow was picking on you.
Officer Morrow? Oh, no. She's been very good to me.
She wouldn't... No. No, she wouldn't do that.
Ryan has insisted that your attack on the officer was completely unprovoked. She was not being ill-treated and needed no assistance.
She said that?
For attacking an officer, I've no alternative but to remand your case before the visiting magistrates.
But for the Board of Visitors to give her only 3 days loss of remission and 2 days solitary, my staff can't believe it.
The board weren't entirely convinced there hadn't been some form of intimidation going on.
That has been most strongly denied by all parties concerned, madam.
It may have been, but I am not entirely convinced.
It's a little stone-built cottage at the edge of the woods, and he's been doing it up for the last 6 months.
And that's where you're going?
Just the two of us.
Eh, sounds very romantic.
Think he'll pop the question.
I'll see he gets every opportunity. Lorna, I've put you down for weekend duty, all right? I'm afraid it's not, Mrs. Spencer. Well, I wouldn't ask you, only it was taken for granted that I'd say yes. But I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to this time. There's no one else available, and you have had the last 2 weekends off. Yes, well, I'm having this one as well.
Oh, well, if you're really stuck.
Would you?
Well, I'd half planned a trip home to see my mum, but...
Thanks, Ruth. I won't forget it.
What's the matter?
Bloody fool. Well, look, don't expect me to thank you. I think we're mugs to keep on taking extra duty at short notice, or no notice at all.
And it's about time we did something about it.
Refusing duty?
Well, first it was just a few of them. Now they're all doing it. I can't make out my schedules. I don't know how we're going to cope.
What will it mean in practical terms?
Well, little or no association this weekend for a start.
What about next week?
If they go on doing it, we'll just have to play it by ear.
You best tell the governor, Mr. Radley.
Yes. Get me all the facts then, will you, Mrs. Armitage?
How determined are they?
I've got to say, Chief, it all happened so quickly.
I'd best have a word.
Yes, I've had the reports from both South and West Wings. What are we going to do about it?
Well, there's not much we can do until we know the facts.
But we've got to do something.
There's no point in panicking. We must just wait until we hear from Mrs. Armitage exactly what the staff's grievances are.
And she is obviously the one I must discuss this with.
So what's the matter then? Is it pay or what?
No, Chief. Salary's all right. Well, it's very good, really.
Well, what then? Now, look, Parsons, you're a sensible young woman. You've the makings of a good officer in you. You knew what the conditions were when you joined the service.
We just want to know where we are, Chief.
You're in Stone Park Prison for Women, which you have a duty to keep running smoothly. All right, I'll speak to you both later on.
How serious is this, Mrs. Armitage?
Nothing we can't handle, madam.
I wish I could be so certain. Every wing is affected. I must know the reasons for it.
It seems to be restricted to a few officers, mostly the younger ones. They don't seem able to specify their complaints except for excessive overtime.
Are you sure it's confined to the younger ones?
Certainly. I know my older officers. They realise how much we depend on them.
Yes.
It's not just the extra duty and unsocial hours, Chief. There's more to it than that.
But it's part of what we have to accept. Now think of the hardship that would be caused the women.
But we're always asked to do that. But nobody has ever shown any concern for the continual hardship suffered by the officers.
Right. I hardly ever see my children, and I can't plan anything ahead.
Well, night after night, you're too tired to go anywhere or do anything. Well, you can't even go into a pub around here because people recognise you and think it's clever to sneer at you or attack you.
If you are not suddenly detailed on escort duty, you find only 2 of you trying to run a whole wing because the others have been sent off.
Right. Some days you're off in that van at 7 in the morning to some county court or other. You're not back home again till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but we're not given time off for the hours spent travelling. Oh, no. I mean, that's what we want. Time off in return, right?
We know it's hard, but somebody has to do it.
Oh.
And after all, the job is worthwhile.
And we're supposed to be dedicated, which means we can be exploited, and we have been.
Quite right.
Yes, absolutely.
What about you, Watts? You haven't said anything.
Oh, that's not fair, Chief. You can't single someone out.
I want to hear what everyone has to say.
Well, I don't like the thought of doing anything that would be bad for the women. After all, it's them we have to think of. But, well, if we get tired and nervous, it's bad for them too. If it means some improvement in our conditions of duty, I'll go along with the others.
Good. I'd just like to know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, nowadays, I'm almost afraid to talk to the women in case I'm accused of interfering with welfare. I mean, what's the satisfaction of just locking and unlocking doors?
And some of the older ones. Come on. Agnes?
I don't agree with everything that's been said. But it is hard to escape the feeling often that we're just being used, and our opinions and wishes never consulted.
You all realise what you're suggesting. We all have to work harder than we want. It's sheer necessity. There just aren't enough of us. All right, you won't get any medals, but think of the lives that are in our hands. It's us they depend on, sometimes for years, for any contact with humanity and reality. And you won't just be letting the women down. You'll let yourselves down. Now think very carefully before you go on with this.
It's always the women. Think of the women. The women who swear at us, spit at us, kick and claw at us with less and less punishment in return, because the reformers say corrective punishment is harmful.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what happens to us doesn't matter.
It's true.
Well, they talk about this being the Cinderella service. Well, we're seen as the ugly sisters.
Everybody back to their rooms! Come on, stop moving! Stop moving!
It's not fair!
Back to your room, Ryan! I know, Elsie, I know, but it can't be helped. Now, come on, back to your room. I don't want to go to this room.
And remember, you both agreed to share.
Hey, where is everybody? What are they all banged up for?
Officers are on strike, and good luck to them. Hope they get what they want.
What they want's a good kick up the jacksie.
Hey, come on, Cindy. Hope that doesn't include me. Though we were friends.
Who could be friends with a screw? Look, all you wanted was to soften me up and report on me to that welfare tar.
That's enough. I don't want any trouble out of you two. Settle down.
Oh, don't take a running jump, you snotty bitch! You better be careful.
Oh, yeah? What's that supposed to mean?
I'm just telling you. I'm liable to be a bit touchy, see? Been in solitary for 2 days.
So what? We've been banged up all weekend too.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, that don't make me feel no better.
Just get off the boil, kid.
Or what?
Or I'll take the steam out of you. Top bunk.
You what?
Use the top bunk, that bed's mine.
Well, I'm taking it.
You're out of your class, kid. Thought you were a big mama, did you, ragging the screws because they can't kick back? You're all mouth and trousers.
No statement and no publicity. Yes. Yes, I agree if it's possible.
I'm worried about them being together.
Well, make or break, Marion says. Tessa can use methods that we can't.
That's what I'm afraid of.
The review boss.
I thought I was going to see you this weekend. I rang, no reply.
Oh, something came up.
Well, what about the wiring?
Yes, I think we can handle it. It's not as complicated as I thought I could manage.
Right. Yes, very well. Goodbye. As far as the department can see, the officers are behaving perfectly legally, carrying out their basic duties. There is no case for punitive action.
Surely they can see the problems we have here.
Well, they could draft in officers from another establishment, but I don't want this work to rule to turn into a strike. Mrs. Armitage, have you spoken to them again?
I have, madam, but with no effect.
What exactly do they want?
Well, the ones I've talked to all seem to have different objectives.
Well, as I understand it, one of the biggest sources of grievance is escort duty and the overtime that it involves. And I sympathise with them. There are days when over half my available staff are heading all over the country. It's tedious, unpleasant, and very often unnecessary. and others have to double up for them.
Yes, but what we have to consider is the effect on the more unstable women of prolonged confinement to their cells. Are your officers aware of that?
I have tried. Perhaps if you had a word with them, madam. I can tell you the names of the ones that I think are the leaders.
I can't speak to them individually. I must deal with them as a whole.
Oh, when the hell are they going to let us out?
What's the matter, Tiger? Can't you take it?
I can take anything.
All you can do is knock our women about.
She was a screw. Oh, what do you keep on about it for?
Because you're so thick. You've been acting tough because Babs told you that was how to survive, right? All she wanted was to see you get done.
She's a bitch.
Rat poison. What did you think you were doing? There's no point in fighting the screws. You can't win.
I don't like them.
So, who does? But there's only one way to beat them, and that's to play the rules, and that turns them into chambermaids.
Yeah?
Yeah. Better still, stay out on it.
You got religion or something?
Sense. A little late, maybe. But I've got it now. 14, I was sent to Borstal for 2 years. Since then, I've spent 6 years inside. Style, Durham, and here. I'm 28. But as far as living's concerned, I'm not even 21. And that's going to be you, Tiger, unless you wise up.
I was working. Please sit down.
Oh, thanks.
This flat isn't quite as I'd like it to be, but it's convenient. I had thought of having it redecorated, but there never seems to be the time.
No, quite.
Is there something I could do for you?
Well, the reverse, actually. I was talking to my wife this morning, and she wondered if you might like to have dinner with us next Thursday.
Oh. That's very kind of her.
Well, she thought you might like some company.
Do you think I need rescuing from loneliness, Mr. Radley?
Well, it can't be much fun being sort of cut off, not knowing anyone.
I don't mind being on my own, you know. I like my privacy.
Look, Mrs. Forrester, all I'm trying to do is to create an atmosphere in which we can work together.
Well, you should save that for office hours, Mr. Radley. I'm off duty.
All right. If you're determined to keep a wall of ice between us, that's fine. I accept that. I'll not trouble you again.
Mr. Radley.
Good night, Governor.
Mr. Radley, please. I'm trying to apologize. Don't make it more difficult for me than it is. I think I've been oversensitive and unfair to you.
You just think I'm not up to my job.
And what do you think of me? From the moment I arrived, you criticized everything I did because it wasn't what Mrs. Boswell would have done. Can you imagine what it was like to take charge of a place like Stone Park and to know that the deputy, a man of great experience, had been asked to forego his own promotion to stay on and help me through?
You've never seemed to need help. At the beginning, you said you wanted to delegate. That we were all to take a greater share of responsibility. But you never listened. To me, you're a one-man band.
Oh, dear. Oh, I could do with a drink. How about you?
Talk to me! It's not my fault. It's not me. I didn't do anything. Oh, please! Open the door and talk to me!
They'll all break one way or another, sooner or later. Don't Don't you think this has gone on long enough, Agnes? I was counting on you and the older officers.
I realized for some time that my attitude towards you was wrong, but I just didn't know how to change the relationship.
Well, that makes two of us.
To be honest, there are times when I very much feel the need of someone to talk to. Problems like this officer's work to rule.
Well, if you want my advice, we've got to find some way to stop it before it causes a great deal of damage. We have to show the staff that we understand their problems.
Yes, but I can't interfere too directly.
That makes them think that you're against them.
But I'm not.
No, I don't actually.
Basically, I agree with their demands. To an extent, I hope they win.
Have you told the department of that view?
Yes. I'm just waiting for a reaction. It would be wrong of me to come out too strongly on their side, but I've taken 1 or 2 steps.
Oh?
No, I'm afraid it's unavoidable. Now, I can't see the situation changing in the present circumstances. Come in. Yes. Yes, of course I will. Goodbye.
Madam, I have just come from the remand wing. They say that you reviewed the list of officers detailed for escort duty and took some of them off. They've been inundated with protests from local courts and police stations. What is going on?
Mrs. Armitage, I'm so sorry. I asked for all those calls to be referred to me. They all concern these so-called bail cases, which I understand are one of your office's principal grievances.
Well, yes, madam.
Why?
Because 80% of the time, a woman on bail gets off and the officer is not needed.
Quite. But suppose the court notified us of a bail case, and then of the result of the trial. If the verdict is guilty, then and only then do we send an officer. The journeys resulting from such cases would be cut by, what was it, 80%?
Let's be having you quickly. Come on. I agree with Agnes. We shouldn't have given in.
Look, we didn't give in. We won.
One lousy concession.
A big one. Well, it's a start.
Maybe. Right, party's in 10 minutes. Out you come, Rachel. Let's be having you.
Look, most of them were ready to vote to stop it anyway.
It was all that crap about dedication from the chief that did it.
Well, at least this way we get something out of it.
Not everything. We will, next time.
Show you already, miss? Yes, thanks.
Where's Babs?
Hospital wing.
Under sedation, is she? I'm sorry to hear that.
Are you, Agnes? Are you really? I spoke to Babs. She was too scared to tell lies. You've been leaning on her, breaking her down. And when Watts and Parsons wanted to vote on letting the women out for exercise, you stopped them. All the time, I thought it was the younger officers behind it. It wasn't. It was you.
Yes, it was me.
Why?
Because everyone talks about our profession, our vocation, but no one does anything about it. This was a chance to win back everything we've lost.
What do you mean?
Everything's changed over the years. Everything. Now, with this new governor ready to stand no nonsense, there was a chance to improve our working conditions and bring back proper discipline. Well, you've prayed for that often enough yourself. All these years, we've had to give way, get softer, and crime has shot up. Well, these women that come here, once they knew what to expect. And now it's a rest cure. We could bring back the old ways.
Strip cells, bread and water diets.
Yes.
No talking, uniforms, physical punishment.
Whatever's necessary. Oh, let the Light Brigade squeal. We'd have a model prison, like it used to be. And the women would pay for what they did.
The old days. There was a time when we might have gone back to them. But that possibility has gone forever. I can't recommend that you be dismissed because after this trouble, the others would see it as victimization. But I shall have you transferred at the first opportunity to a job where you have no contact with the women and little opportunity to influence younger officers. I shall have you out of here before the end of the month.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go.
Come on, we haven't got all day. So long now. You too, Cindy.
Oh, yes, Miss Poole. Whatever you say, Miss Poole.
It's better to be back at work, isn't it? I'm glad the dispute's over.
Is it?